Welcome to the Sales Meets Marketing podcast, the show where connection meets results. And this is the inaugural episode of the show. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@salesmeetsmarketing or on Instagram at salesmeetsmarketing. And I decided to turn my channel into a podcast format so that it's easier to create daily clips for you to get little nuggets of sales advice and tactics, tools, and guidance to help you become better at your craft, and also to bridge the gap between sales and marketing professionals, because often we think of ourselves as polar opposites, but we really need to communicate and work together if we want to drive exponential results in our industries. Sales is one of those careers where there are very low barriers to entry because it doesn't necessarily require any specific skill set or educational background to get into it. But that leads to a wide degree of talent and skill level and varying levels of customer experience in the marketplace. And sales and marketing, like any other professional designation, like doctor, lawyer, accountant, etc., is a profession. And unfortunately, there's no real designation to give you that, but there are absolutely sales professionals out there, and those that are in a sales career can and should be striving to become professionals in everything that they do. And so that's what this podcast is here for you to do. And I hope that you gain something from it. You can reach out to us on the YouTube channel or leave us a rating on your favorite podcasting app. Let us know what topics you'd like to cover, if you'd like us to interview specific people, so that you can learn from others rather than just me. If you'd like all of this knowledge in one dose that you can take with you at any time, grab a copy of my book, Sales Meets Marketing, A Professional's Guide to Peak Performance in Sales, by me, Rob Crate. You can find that on Amazon in pretty much any country, or you can visit the website salesmeetsmarketing.ca to grab a copy yourself or reach out to us anytime. So in this first episode, I just wanted to give you a bit of background on myself, understand where I came from, what my experience is, what my results are like, and why I think that you can get some value out of listening to this podcast to improve your sales results and or your marketing acumen, and how you can better work with your sales or marketing counterparts in your industry to drive exponential results for you and your company. So who am I? Well, I have about 20 years in sales experience and marketing experience under my belt, and I have worked in multiple industries doing multiple different types of sales and marketing. So what does that include? I've done door-to-door sales. I've sold discount coupons door-to-door for golf and recreational facilities, for sporting events, for theme parks, etc. I have done in-home sales of water treatment equipment, where I'm trying to meet someone for the first time and sell them, $10,000 of water treatment equipment by following a script and telling stories and testing their water. I have worked in consumer packaged goods, where I've sold soft drinks and energy drinks and electrolyte drinks to the general public and to convenience and drugstores throughout Southern Ontario. I've also worked in the food and restaurant industry, sold chicken and marketed that to restaurants throughout Ontario. I've also worked in medical devices in sales and marketing, launching new products, bringing them to the marketplace for the first time in Canada, and also growing specific product lines within the gastroenterology field in medical devices. I've never once missed a quota. In my sales career, I have always hit the targets and exceeded them that have been asked of me. And I've done a lot throughout my career to ensure that I never miss a target. And that's what we'll go through in this podcast week after week, is the different things, different tactics that I use, the different planning, the skill set that I've learned, the books that I think you should read, the main points of different sales styles and marketing styles, and most of all, how sales and marketing can lean on each other to make sure that the customer's getting a better experience and that the messaging is consistent throughout customers' minds in the field, in the marketplace, because we're all speaking the same language and giving the same message. So I talked about a little bit about the difference between a salesperson and a sales professional. I think that's a very clear distinction. As I mentioned, there is a very low there's a low degree of barrier to entry for sales. Anyone can get into it at any time with any level of experience. It doesn't matter what you do today, you can enter a career in sales tomorrow. You do not need any designations, you don't need any education. And oftentimes, sales can be one of the most rewarding careers you can get into because it rewards it rewards professionals based on merit, not on tenure, not on how close they are to the owner of the company, not on any amount of education. It's pay for performance. And that can be scary for a lot of people entering the sales field because it means that your income is less certain. But for those of us that are higher performers or that want to be rewarded fairly, if we do better work, we want to be compensated better than the person next to us that may not be working as hard or driving the same results that we are. And because of that, for those that are self-starters and those that are continuously learning, lifelong learners wanting to improve themselves and their results, I think that there is no better career move for you to take than entering sales or marketing for various reasons. So the difference between a salesperson and a sales professional is just like any job, really, that would have a professional designation. So a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, they have professional designations because they are held to certain standards. And in the sales world, there are no specific standards that are laid out by a professional body or a governing body that you pay dues to each and every year to ensure that you keep that professional designation. There is nothing requiring you to continually learn, to hone your skills, to get better at what you do. Now, there are resources out there, of course. There are courses you can take, there are books you can read, there are ways to get better and better at what you do every day, but there is nothing governing the sales industry to create that quote unquote professional designation. So, how do you become a professional if you are in sales? Well, you look at other industries that are considered professional careers and you mimic what is required of them to maintain that designation as a professional. Mainly, what those are continuing to improve, to learn, to read research, to understand how the industry is changing, and to always act in the best possible way that you can for your customer. Sales and marketing all comes down to customer experience and adding value to someone else's life. And so if you are constantly striving to improve and you are doing your best each and every day, then you are a professional. And don't let the fact that there are no specific letters behind your name or degrees required to practice sales, that practice over and over and dedication to excellence equals professional. And this podcast will help you go from a mere salesperson to becoming a sales professional. And that's my hope for you. Now, there's so many resources out there. So what works? I think that reading is very important. I think role playing is very important with your colleagues, with your peers, even with your customers or your loved ones at home. And I also think that there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of accounts on the internet that make light of sales or that talk about individual tactics or styles of salespeople. But at the end of the day, the basic tenet behind a professional is someone that provides value to their clients. There is no one style that works. There is no one tactic that works. At the end of the day, if you're listening and learning what your customers need and what they want out of your product or service, you will become a professional over time. So we're going to talk about a lot of these skills that you have to develop, the resources, books that you can read, conferences that you can attend, and basic exercises that you can do on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis to review your performance and see if you are improving in the way that you want to improve on a day-to-day basis. And of course, lastly, I'll just mention again that I did write a book on this. It is called Sales Meets Marketing. You can find it on Amazon. Subtitle is A Professional's Guide to Peak Performance in Sales. The author is me, Rob Crate, and it will take you through everything that we're going to go through in this podcast. It's not a long read. It's under 200 pages. You can read it in a few hours, but it also contains powerful exercises that you can do it as an individual or as a sales team. And also, I'm here to help if you want to organize any individual sales training or team training for your organization to put these exercises into practice. So until next time, smile more, talk less, and always add value.